The lights dimmed. My fingers tightened around the mic. The crowd buzzed like thunder in my ears, but my eyes found them. Front row, Mom, Dad, Jasper, Lena. She wore the same blue dress, the one from Thanksgiving. The night everything shifted, she smiled, but not at me, and that's when I knew they had no idea what was coming. My name is Micah Rhodes, and this is how I turned silence into fire. Where in the world are you listening from? Drop your state and subscribe for true revenge. Savannah smelled like wet pavement and pine sap that morning. I hadn't slept. I stared at the ceiling guitar across my chest, fingers frozen on the strings. Not a single note came out. That used to calm me, playing in the dark. Just me and the hum of traffic down by the river. But not today. Mom had called again, chirping through the phone. Thanksgiving's almost here, baby. Bring that girl of yours. Can't wait to see her. That girl of mine, Lena Hart. She worked accounts at a bank downtown. The kind of woman who always had her nails done, never forgot a birthday. Smart, stable, way out of my league. And somehow she stuck around. 2 years, late night gigs, unpaid bar shows, empty fridge power outages, missed calls. She still smiled, still tucked my pick into her wallet like it meant something, still said, "You're gonna make it, Micah." I wanted to believe her, but then I'd see the bills, the rent notices, the unopened rejection letters from record labels, and hear Dad's voice. Always that voice. "You're 32. You still playing that nonsense?" Or worse, Jasper's hiring again. Real salary, real future. Jasper, my younger brother, 3 years younger, 3 lifetimes more successful. He ran numbers for a hedge fund in Charlotte. Custom suits, first-class flights, LinkedIn with 1,000 connections. At Thanksgiving, he'd hand out expensive wine. Call Mom darling, kiss her cheek like he ran for office. She'd glow. Dad would say, "Now that's a man with a plan." And then there was me, Micah Rhodes, singer-songwriter, living above a liquor store. $50 a set if the crowd was generous. But Lena never looked down on me, at least not yet. That morning I watched her sleep. Loose braid freckles, one arm stretched across the pillow. She looked peaceful, untouched by the noise in my chest. I'd made my choice. We were going. To see them. To show them I wasn't a failure. I had her, and that had to count for something. I packed my guitar gently, wiped the strings, grabbed a clean shirt and the one blazer that still fit. Lena came out of the bathroom towel in her hair, smiling. "You ready?" she asked. I nodded. "I want them to see," I said. "See what, that I'm not alone." She kissed my cheek. "You never were." We drove out of Savannah with the windows cracked, country radio playing low. The scent of her coconut shampoo filled the car. I gripped the wheel tighter than I needed to. We were only 30 minutes from my parents' house, but somehow it felt farther than ever. Outside, the clouds thickened. Somewhere in the distance, thunder rolled. The Rhodes house looked the same. White shutters, brick steps, hydrangeas Mom always trimmed too perfectly. As we parked, Lena reached for my hand. I took it. "You okay?" she asked. I nodded once, but my stomach twisted like it knew something I didn't. Mom answered the door wearing pearls and perfume. "Oh my God, Lena, you're even prettier than your pictures." They hugged like old friends. I got a side glance and a 2-second pat on the back. "Micah, sweetheart." "Come in." The air inside smelled like pot roast and scented candles. Too sweet, too staged. Dad came from the den, arms crossed. Still playing guitar, he asked, skipping hello. "Still selling insurance," I replied. His lips twitched. Was that almost a smile? Then Jasper walked in. Khakis, button-down, Rolex, looking like a damn commercial. "Bro," he said loud enough for everyone, gripped my shoulder, patted it like I was the intern. "Lena, right?" He turned to her, flashing teeth. "You work in finance too." "Accounting," she smiled politely. "I run audits for Mid-South Bank." "Smart," he said, nodding. "Stable career. That's rare these days." I caught the glance between Dad and Jasper. Quick, but I saw it. Dinner was served with cloth napkins and scripted conversation. Jasper talked about his last trip to Manhattan. Mom asked follow-ups like a talk show host. Dad passed the gravy like it was a trophy. Every time I spoke, silence. Forks clinked. Jasper sipped wine. Then Mom looked at Lena. So, any big plans between you two? I froze. Lena chuckled awkwardly. Nothing official. Just taking things slow. Mom said. That's smart. Stability first. Her eyes flicked to Jasper, then back to Lena. Under the table, Lena grabbed my hand again, but it was cold this time. After dinner, Jasper pulled out a bottle of bourbon. Micah helped me in the living room. We left them in the kitchen, Mom, Lena, and the sound of running water. I sat stiff on the edge of the couch. Jasper poured 2 fingers of bourbon. Lena's great, he said. Real catch. I looked at him sideways. Don't start. He smiled. What I just saying? She deserves the best. I didn't answer. Then I heard it faint voices from the kitchen. The water was still running, but Mom's voice cut through. You really think Micah's right for you? Pause. Lena didn't answer right away. He's passionate. But sometimes I wonder, she said softly. Another pause. Then Mom's sugar-sweet Jasper knows how to take care of people. You should talk to him more. Glass clinked, sink drained, and my heart hollowed. I stood up without a word. Jasper raised his glass confused. I didn't look at him, didn't look at anyone. I just stepped out onto the porch and let the night swallow me. The air smelled like burnt leaves, but all I could taste was copper. We left early the next morning. Too many smiles, too many looks. Lena didn't ask why I was quiet on the drive back, and I didn't ask why she avoided my eyes. Back in Savannah, I tried to forget it, tried to play, tried to sing, but the notes felt sour, and my hands wouldn't stay steady. A week passed, then 2. Lena got distant, not cold, just out of reach. She canceled our Friday dinner. Work's been crazy, she texted, then missed Saturday brunch. I need rest. Then Tuesday night I saw it. Story from Jasper. Tagged the coffee loft. His favorite haunt when he was in town. I tapped it, muted audio. But the image, Lena, laughing, elbows on the table, eyes soft. His hand brushed hers, and she didn't pull away. The air in my apartment thickened. I shut my phone, stared at the wall. 2 hours passed before I moved. The guitar lay untouched. That Friday I walked into the coffee loft. Midday, bright sun, buzz of conversation. I ordered her usual, small caramel oat latte, no whip, then sat outside. Waited. At 1:07 they arrived, Jasper in blue, Lena in soft beige. She smiled at him the way she used to smile at me. I didn't go in, didn't shout, didn't ask, didn't fight, just watched. He said something. She laughed, touched his arm, and that's when I left. Walked home slow, through cracked sidewalks and red clay dust. The sun beat down, but I felt cold. That night I tried to sing, but my voice cracked. Micah Rhodes, man of melodies. Had nothing left to say. I stared at the ceiling till morning, then I packed. My guitar, my notebooks, 1 suitcase, Flagstaff. I didn't tell her, didn't tell anyone. Just bought the bus ticket. One way, left Savannah behind. As the wheels turned, I closed my eyes. The scent of roasted beans still lingered, and so did her laugh. Flagstaff hit different. Hot wind, thin air, mountains that stared you down. I stepped off the bus with my guitar slung across my back, dust in my throat, $212 in my pocket. No plan, just a name. Silver Cactus Sound. An old producer had mentioned it once after a bar gig. Go west, that's where the real sound lives. I didn't know if he was right, but I didn't care anymore. I found a room above a dive bar called Milo's. 1 mattress, no AC, 1 shared bathroom down the hall. At night I played to empty stools and 2 drink minimums. Tips $7, $3, sometimes nothing. I played anyway. Because what else was left? Most nights I fell asleep to the rattle of neon, the hum of old fridges, the ache in my wrists. Then one Tuesday I walked into Silver Cactus Sound, just to ask. The bell above the door jangled. Inside smelled like old vinyl and hot wires. Behind the desk an old man looked up. Hank, he said. You're late for nothing. I told him my name. Micah Rhodes, played in bars, wrote my own stuff. He nodded once. You sweep floors, don't whine, and keep the coffee flowing, you start tomorrow. I almost laughed. Instead, I just said, yes, sir. That studio became my church. Concrete floors, dusty mixers, ghosts in the tape reels. I didn't touch a mic, didn't ask to, but I listened. I learned. Compression, EQ, reverb that felt like rain. Then she walked in, faded jeans, stack of papers, messy bun, brown hair, eyes that didn't blink much. She dropped her files on the desk. I need a studio, Hank, something clean. Clock's ticking. Then she saw me. Pause, eyes narrowed. Micah. Rhodes. My throat dried. Yeah, Ivy Monroe, she said. Her voice, same as I remembered. She was Jasper's ex, the one Mom never liked. Too loud, too artsy, too much like me. You still singing? She asked. I shrugged. Mostly mopping these days. She smirked. I'm producing now. Got a girl with real fire. But no budget, no support. Hank leaned over. Y'all know each other used to? She said. Used to hurt in the same house. Her eyes softened. Maybe we still do. And just like that, the room felt warmer. Ivy worked like thunder. Fast, loud. No patience for second takes. She taught me how to breathe through a mix. How to hear the pain in a flat note. You don't fix feelings, she said. You frame it. I loved the way she spoke to music, like it was a person who owed her rent. We stayed late, every night. Coffee, laughter, frustration. Some nights we'd sit on the rooftop of the studio, sharing bad burritos and good silence. She didn't ask about Savannah. I didn't ask about Jasper, but the ghosts were always there. One night after recording a haunting vocal take, she lit a cigarette and said, Micah, you ever think about revenge? I stared into the dark. Smoke curled around her face like a veil. No, I said. Not really. Just want to be louder than the silence they left me in. She nodded. I get that. The next day our lives cracked open. Mia, the girl Ivy was producing, got picked up by a local radio station. They played her demo Ashes in stereo. One spin turned into 10, then 50. Then they called for an interview. That was the first time someone asked who produced it. Ivy said Fireline Records, a name we made up on the walk to the gas station. We laughed, but something in us had shifted. That night while Ivy tweaked reverb, I opened Instagram for the first time in weeks. Big mistake. Top post. It's Jasper, Rhodes Finance, image a wedding photo. Him, Lena, the beach, white linen, matching smiles. Caption, married my best friend. Here's to forever. I stared at the screen. Time didn't move. Then Ivy's voice. You okay? I turned the phone toward her. She looked, paused. Damn. I nodded, set the phone face down, didn't speak again that night. Next morning, Mom posted, so proud of our son and beautiful daughter-in-law. Jasper and Lena forever. No mention of me, no tag, no question. It was like I never existed. Ivy slid coffee across the console. They're not your family, Micah. We are. And for the first time, I believed her. The bus rattled past us on 5th Street. Dust kicked up and vanished. Ivy leaned against the studio wall, sipping flat soda. You okay? She asked. I shook my head, but I wasn't breaking. Not this time. They were married, Lena and Jasper. Signed, sealed, and smiled for the world. And I was still here, sweeping floors between sessions. But something had shifted inside me. Not anger, not grief. Something colder. Resolve. I want to build something they can't ignore, I said. Ivy raised an eyebrow. Like what? Fireline, I whispered. Not just a name, a real label. Real artists. Real sound. She watched me carefully, not to hurt them. No, I said, not even to impress them. I looked down at my hands, calloused, stained, strong. I just want them to hear what they threw away. Ivy nodded slowly. I'm in. We stood in silence. Somewhere in the distance, a dog barked. The desert air pressed against our skin. Inside the studio, the board blinked softly. Tracks waited. Ideas waited. I turned back to the door. Time to stop bleeding. Time to start building. Fireline started on a napkin. Literally. Ivy drew the logo with a Sharpie between bites of leftover fries. Flame through a vinyl record. Crude, messy, but it felt right. We claimed a corner of silver cactus sound. 2 folding tables, 1 busted monitor, and enough ambition to light the place on fire. First, we pitched to Mia, told her we wanted to release her single officially. She cried, then hugged us like we saved her life. We set up socials. Micah ran copy. Ivy did visuals. Mia posted raw vocals behind the scenes. It worked. A local music blog picked us up. Then a college station called. Then a podcaster DM'd us, "Who the hell are you people?" People started sending us demos. Rough stuff. Unmixed, unfiltered, but honest. One of them, a girl named Reese, sent a track that made Ivy freeze mid-edit. "She's got it," she said, eyes locked. We brought Reese in. She didn't know how to hold a mic. But when she sang, the room bent around her voice. Ivy whispered, "Studio or not, she's going on the record." So we built it. Today, your Fireline Volume 1. 7 artists, 8 songs, 1 shot at proving ourselves. We begged favors, used every free plugin on the internet. I pawned my loop pedal to pay a mastering tech. Ivy sold her keyboard stand. "Floor's always been solid," she joked. Nights bled into mornings. Pizza grease on faders, caffeine sweats and headphone headaches. But the sound, it felt alive, like breaking rules on purpose. I still checked Instagram sometimes. Still saw Jasper post finance tips. Still saw Lena in pearls. But it didn't hurt like before. I had mixes to finish, and Ivy beside me. One evening, we collapsed on beanbags. Our secondhand speakers blared Reese's final track. Ivy's hand found mine. Quiet, certain. "We're not the same people anymore," she said. "No," I replied, and thank God for that. The next morning, a message came in. Local radio wanted Fireline Volume 1 for premiere week. All 8 tracks. We screamed, then cried, then got back to work. Because premiere meant pressure. Premiere meant the city was listening. Ivy pulled out her laptop. "We need a launch show, a real one." I blinked. "Like a concert?" She nodded. "Not in a bar, not in a dive, a theater." I laughed. She didn't. "I'm serious," she said. "If we want them to take us seriously, we show them what we built." My heart thudded. "What about money?" "I've got some savings," she said, then grinned. "And you're charming. Go sweet talk, Hank." I stared at her. The girl Jasper once ghosted, now building empires out of scraps. We made the call that night. Flagstaff Grand Theater. 1,000 seats. 2 months out. A maybe, a dream, a line in the sand. Fireline was coming. And this time they'd have to listen. We put everything into that show. Time, money, pride. Flagstaff Grand Theater didn't come cheap. Old velvet seats, faded gold trim. But when the stage lights hit, it felt like something sacred. The manager eyed our proposal, flipping through sketches and mock-ups. "Local artists, huh?" He scratched his beard, squinting at our hand-drawn Fireline logo. "Let's call this a creative discount." We took it. The poster went up a week later, taped to record store windows, shared on college bulletin boards, scattered across Instagram like sparks. Fireline lived one night only. Indie, raw, real. Micah Rhodes, Reese, Mia, and others still finding their voices. We didn't have a PR team, just belief and breath. We made the rounds. College radio at 6 a.m., tiny podcasts recorded in basements. One guy live-streamed open mics from his garage. Ivy handled it all with grace. Every time someone asked, "So how'd Fireline start?" she'd smile, leaning close, and say, "From a bruise." Ticket sales crawled at first. 15, then 23, then 57. We celebrated each one like a Grammy. Reese drew a star on the whiteboard for every 10. 2 weeks out, we passed 300. Then Phoenix heard about us. A blogger called Fireline a punch in the gut you didn't know you needed. Seats disappeared. Emails flooded in. Press requests, local sponsors. Even a bakery asked to make Fireline cupcakes. We laughed so hard Ivy snorted soda. She wiped her face, eyes still watery. "We're a movement now." I grinned through the exhaustion. "No, we're a problem." That night I climbed the rooftop alone. Old paint peeled beneath my boots. The air felt electric. Savannah felt far away. So did Lena. So did everything that once broke me. I checked my inbox, just for habit, one unread message. "You're Meredith Rhodes." Subject: "We saw the article." My breath caught. "Honor, Micah, Dad, and I didn't realize how far you'd come. The theater looks incredible. Jasper and Lena will be in town that week. We'd love to attend." "No, we're proud of you." "No, sorry, just RSVP." I didn't reply right away. Next day, Ivy found me pacing the control room, fingers twitching, voice hollow. "What's wrong?" I handed her the phone. She read, slowly, quietly. Her jaw clenched. They want a front row seat to your pain. They want to witness it, I muttered, not own it. She tilted her head. You want them there? I don't know. Think carefully, she said, because this stage isn't for them, it's for you. Still some rusted piece of me wanted them to hear me, to see what they left behind. So I wrote back. 4 seats reserved, front row. No smiley face, no warmth, just coordinates. Let them choose. The final week hit like a flood. Late night lighting calls. Soundboard meltdowns. Mia lost her voice. Reese had a panic attack backstage. Ivy rewired a blown monitor herself. Sweat ran down her back. Her knuckles bled where the casing cut her. But she didn't stop. None of us did. The night before, everything finally clicked. We stood center stage alone, no lights, just echo. The velvet curtain loomed like a heartbeat. Ivy looked out at the empty seats, row after row. Ready, she asked. I nodded, throat dry. She touched my hand. You built this from ashes, Micah. And you gave it shape, I said. Fire burns wild, you gave it direction. We didn't kiss, didn't need to. We stood there side by side, breathing in the quiet. The calm before everything changed. The night arrived. Flagstaff Grand shimmered like a cathedral. Glass doors, gold trim, lights tracing the edges of the marquee. Fireline Live, sold out. My heart pounded like a snare drum. Backstage smelled like hot cables and hairspray. Reese paced in her boots. Mia sat in silence, earbuds and eyes shut. Ivy stood at the monitor, arms folded. She wore all black, hair down, a quiet fire. I stepped beside her. Anyone show up yet? She tilted her chin. I peeked through the curtain. Front row. They were there. Mom, pearl earrings, back straight like a judge. Dad, pressed shirt, jaw tight. Jasper, polished, legs crossed, smiling like he owned the building. And Lena, hair curled, red dress, eyes scanning the stage like it might apologize to her. I froze. The past sat 20 feet away, dressed in expensive regret. Ivy touched my wrist. You don't owe them anything. I nodded, swallowed hard. The house lights dimmed. A ripple moved through the crowd. Then silence, that perfect kind where everyone holds their breath. Mia stepped out first, soft spotlight. Her voice trembled on the first note, but then rose like steam. Applause, real, roaring. Next came Reese, guitar strapped tight. She hit the mic with both hands shaking. Her second verse made someone in the third row cry. I waited in the wings, legs buzzing, lungs tight. Then Ivy looked at me. No one gets to narrate your life but you. I stepped out. Blinding light, wall of sound. But I saw them. Still front row, still quiet, still pretending they had nothing to do with this story. I gripped the mic. My name is Micah Rhodes. Pause. This first song is about being invisible. Strum, echo, drum beat low and heavy. Well, you didn't see me, but I saw you. I sang with everything I had. Every lyric a scar-turned weapon. Every chord a memory cracked open. On the third line, Lena looked down. Dad blinked. Jasper shifted. Mom didn't move. Second chorus, my voice cracked, but I didn't stop. The room held its breath, and I let it burn. I finished the last note, silence. Then the crowd rose. A wall of sound hit me like a wave. I blinked into the lights. Couldn't see anyone's face, just shapes, hands, voices shouting my name. I stepped back, heart pounding in my ribs. Sweat rolled down my spine. Behind the curtain, Ivy pulled me in. She wrapped her arms around me tight. You did it. I couldn't speak, just nodded against her shoulder. Look at them, she whispered. Look what you built. I peeked past the side curtain. The front row hadn't moved. Dad clapped, but it looked rehearsed. Mom sat frozen, arms crossed, expression unreadable. Jasper whispered something to Lena. She didn't respond. Ivy came beside me. They don't know what to do with you now. I don't care, I said, and I meant it. The final act played. Reese crushed her closing track. We all took the stage for the bow. Mia grabbed my hand. Micah, this night changed my life. I nodded, didn't trust my voice. Spotlights dimmed, curtain dropped. We rushed backstage into hugs and high fives. Laughter, tears. Fireline was real now, more than sound. It was family. Someone knocked. Micah guests out front asking for you. I tensed. Ivy met my eyes. You don't have to. I know, but I wanted to. Out in the lobby, they stood near the exit, all 4. Mom stepped forward first. Her eyes looked glassy. You were very powerful up there. Thank you. My voice was flat, calm. Dad gave a nod, hands in pockets. Jasper stepped forward, extended a hand. Congrats, bro, really. I took it, brief shake, no warmth. Then Lena. She looked tired. Something behind her eyes fractured. I didn't know she said, I didn't know it would matter this much. I nodded. Yeah, me neither. She swallowed, opened her mouth, closed it again. Then softly, I'm sorry. I looked at her one last time. She used to be my everything. Now she was just a ghost with good posture. I forgive you, I said, but we're not those people anymore. She nodded, tears welled, but she didn't cry. Mom reached for my arm, hesitated, then dropped it. I hope we see you again. Maybe. They left without another word. No photos, no hugs. I stood there lighter. Ivy came up behind me, slipped her hand into mine. Still breathing, she teased. I smiled, yeah, for the first time in years. 3 months later, Fireline had a waiting list. Artists, interns, even labels wanting partnerships. We moved out of Silver Cactus, found a warehouse across town. Paint peeled off the walls, but it had bones. Good ones. We gutted it ourselves. Me Ivy, Mia Reese, the whole crew. Sawdust in our hair, blisters on our palms. But we laughed the whole way through. One night I stood in the main booth. Fresh drywall, new cables, same old guitar in my hands. Ivy leaned on the frame. Feels different now, doesn't it? Yeah, I said, quieter, but solid. Outside it rained, soft, steady. We didn't talk about the past anymore. Didn't need to. I hadn't heard from Mom or Dad, Jasper either. Lena had sent one postcard, no return address. It read, I hope your music never stops. I kept it in a drawer, didn't hate it, didn't treasure it, just let it exist. Some memories are like that, not poison, not gold, just things you survived. One morning, Ivy placed a small velvet box on the desk. What's this, there's son. She smirked. Fireline's first gold record, kind of. Inside a guitar pick. Pressed in resin, our logo burned into the back. You earned this, she said. I didn't cry, but my throat caught. I slid the box into my jacket pocket, carried it with me the rest of the day. That night, we threw open the new doors, launch event, full house, no red carpet, just truth. Someone asked me what changed. I smiled, nothing. I just stopped asking for permission to exist. Have you ever walked away from what broke you and built something better? Where in the world are you listening from? Tell me below, and don't forget to subscribe for more true revenge stories only on Revenge with Max.